Hello guys, and welcome to Unmasked by Toltec Wisdom, where we unlearn, relearn, and become. In 2011-2012, when I was the Chief Justice of the Student Union Government of Adeyemi College of Education, now Adeyemi Federal University of Education in Ondo, the administration then was a very short one because of student riots that caused a massive destruction in the college. After the suspension of the student union activities and also because of the massive destruction, the school was closed down for months. So after that, all the students were asked to pay restitution fee to renovate and to pay some people that will destroy their cars, and also for the payment for the renovation. The month we resume back, before the crisis, we were about to write exam, the examination was not very far. So we were to resume and just start the exam. So within the first month of starting the exam, I noticed that some of the companies that the school hired to do the renovation of the school and also the rebranding, there was also an attempt to do rebranding for the school because of the bad image the crisis has caused the school. So the company that was in charge of the rebranding, the repackaging of the school was called Maxera. So the owner of that Maxera happens to be two former students of that same institution, a lady called Mama Aluta and a man called Marcus. We also call him my leader. Now he is dead. So I noticed that this man that is also part of Maxera happens to have input in the issue that led to the crisis. That how could someone that was involved in the crisis now be part of the people that will be employed to do the rebranding? I was confused. I was also thinking, can it be that the provost of the college, the head of the college, is not aware, or maybe he is aware, or what is even I was just confused. So one day, at the guidance and counseling department, at the front of guidance and counseling department, that guidance and counseling department happens to be at the back of the student union building. So there was an ongoing project there, and I saw the provost there. I decided to approach him, being the former student union chief justice that was affected because of the crisis. I decided to approach him that, Baba, this man that you are giving opportunity, this man that you are now in cordial relationship with, he was part of the people that incited the crisis. So what is happening? And aside from my confusion, my attempt that day was to let him know that once this man is not getting what he is currently getting from you again, there is every tendency he will start another crisis. So I explained to him, and he said he knows. In the course of me having the conversation with him, I deduced that he is a necessary devil to this man. You know, being a psychologist, the provost, he knew that this man, being part of the problem, can be used to be part of the solution. And after the discussion, I left. The most surprising part to me, now I'm no longer surprised, but then was that same evening, Mama Aluta, that happens to be the partner of this man I went to report to the provost, called me on phone that, CJ, Otifenuko, you are in trouble, you are in problem. Why did you go and tell the provost? She didn't allow me to respond. She dropped the call. I was so devastated that how could I tell the provost something that could benefit him and the school, and the provost went ahead to tell these people. Well, I thought that was even it, that it was just a threat to keep me short. And I decided immediately that anything that has to do with this school, Sean, let me just finish my study here and get out. But the second day, I received a call from the student union, from the student affairs dean, the dean of student affairs. And my friend, Wale Oyedeji, was also invited, in which Wale Oyedeji just happens to be my friend that we used to move around, we used to do things around. I used to sleep in his house. We used to do almost things together. We used to stay at the front of the college to play. So he was also invited. On getting to the office of the dean, we were told that they received an intelligent information that me and Wale, we are planning to disorganize the school. We are planning to incite the school to create another protest, another crisis. Wow. Even the Kohasu chairman was invited. The CSO to the provost was there. I cannot forget, after they told us what we are planning, that I started crying. The deputy dean of student affairs then was saying I was shedding crocodile's tear. That was the first time I heard about that word or that statement, that I was shedding crocodile's tear. I was like, what is this? Where is this coming from? But in the course of that, I remember that this must be related to the call I received from Mama Luther. I said, well, we were told to write an undertaking that, one, we are not going to be in any group of students. Two, that me and Wale will not be seen together on campus. Three, that if they hear another intelligent information that we are planning anything, we will be not suspended, expelled from the school. We will be expelled from the school. There was a word I'm trying to remember, maybe rusticated, something like that. That was the word they said we should use because they even told us what to write. In short, we wrote the letter and we submitted it. I was so disturbed. But since I was so sure that I'm not planning anything, so no issue. My only fear was that if they could plan this, if they could just bring this out of nowhere and refuse to say anything about what I discussed with the provost, then these people can also still go ahead and do anything and accuse me of being the one doing it. So I told my brother, Keke, and Keke said, I should just be careful. I should come to school, go to class, and go back home. And that if I could be having witnesses about my movements, that it will be okay. I said, fine. I thought that was all about this issue. We did the exam. We were given maybe only 1 or 2 weeks, and we resumed back because of the initial crisis that has cost us many months at home. So there was no long thing for the holiday. Immediately after the exam, we resumed again for the second semester. So after the when we were about to do the exam of the second semester, it was time for departmental student union elections, because the suspension of the student union activities is only at the level of the student union, it's not affecting even the faculties. The faculties, the departmentals, politics with the students are still ongoing. So I decided to contest for English department president. I started the campaign, everything, did the poster. By the time we are going to the selling of forms will be closed, I happen to be the only candidate, which means unopposed. But according to the constitution of the department, even if you are unopposed, you still have to get the 2/3. So we are still going to conduct the election, because even aside from the president office, other offices, they have opponents. So the election is a must. On the day of election, in the morning of the election, I finished shower, and my brother Keke, because I stay with my brother Keke, he was also former student of the college. So, and he works on campus. He sells things on campus. So that day, he called me in the morning that someone heard the provost speaking with Mama Luther on phone, discussing about me, that I am a threat to the college if I become English department president, that I must never become that president. When my brother told me, said, I thought this issue is gone. Wow. Well, I got to school. I went to the venue of the election. I saw people casting their votes. I did mine. And as I was leaving the venue of the election, someone told me that the English department HOD, Mr. Dari, asked me to come to his office. When I got to his office, he told me he's just coming from the provost's office. And provost said, I have to write a letter of resignation. I've not even been sworn in. I've not even been declared winner. Why? What did I do? He said, the provost said, there is an intelligence report about me that once I become the English department president, I will create crisis in the school. I will incite students against the management. This issue again. Okay. I told Mr. Dari, there is nothing of such. That I am surprised they think I have this power. I don't have this power, even if I want to incite the student. I don't have this power. I don't even have enough words, enough inciting words that I can say to students to evoke such action. So Mr. Daddy said, the only way they can allow me to be the president is if Mr. Daddy can write a letter vouching for me that if anything happens, he will be responsible. Mr. Daddy happens to be a very close pal to my brother Keke. So because of that, Mr. Daddy was ready to do it for me. And then Mr. Daddy being my lecturer, said that this boy is not going to do anything. So Mr. Daddy said, okay, he will go to the provost that he will write the letter. So he went to the provost. After maybe 1 hour or 1 hour, 30 minutes, he called me again. I went to his office and he said, this issue is beyond what he thought. That when he told the provost that he's going to write the letter to vouch for me, the provost called his wife. His wife happens to be one of these school workers, also one of the school staff in the school hospital, the school health center. So that this is what your husband wants to do because of his student. And if anything happens, it is not only your husband that we are going to take to be responsible for this, even you yourself. And that is when Mr. Dari couldn't write the letter again. I said, okay, Mr. Dari should let me go and think about it on what to do. They said I must submit the letter of resignation that same day. So when I left, another lecturer from this same department called me. I went to his office. I'm not going to say his name. I went to his office and he said he heard about what happened, that this is a time to shine, that I should not bow to oppression. I should not bow to this pressure, that I already have the student support, that I should go and write a letter to state everything I know about this and bring it to him. He will help me to edit it and I will paste it all around the school. I heard that too. I left. I went home. Alone in my room, I thought about it. Ola, why are you in Adeyemi College of Education? I answer myself, to study. Then, why are you stressing yourself over these extracurricular activities? Write the letter. If truly you want to serve the department and the management of the school in which the department is under it is saying you cannot do it, they don't want you to do it, then if you don't have ulterior motive, truly, let go. Do you know that this school has the ability to expel you without no any tangible reason, and there is nothing you can do? I said, yes, I know. So I picked my pen and a paper. I wrote the letter of resignation. I wrote it. I stated that in lieu of the management saying I should resign, when I went to the HOD department, the HOD said I should not put that, the management, that they will still tell him, if he takes this now to him, they will still tell him to tell me that I choose to resign voluntarily. Resignation is resignation. I wrote another one. I now told Mr. Dari that, please, I have a favor to ask. He said, what is that? I said, can I nominate the person that will replace me? Please. He said, there is no problem. Who do I want to nominate? I said, I want to nominate my friend, Oyedeji Wale. Because we are in the same department, we are in the same class. So he is qualified. And they approved it immediately. And he became the president. If I had taken the whole issue personally and decided then to fight this to the end, I wouldn't graduate from that school. And I wouldn't become the president. But now this is where it becomes interesting. For the fact that I didn't take it personally. I accepted the situation because the situation was beyond me. I had no control over it than the control of acceptance. Me accepting it is the only control I have over the situation. Because of that, you wouldn't believe that after like a month or thereabout, Mama Luther called me through my friend Yomi. Yomi is a very good pal to Mama Luther. And Mama Luther, she's such a very intelligent, and aside from that intelligence, she has something special. Both Mama Luther and Marcus, they are so brilliant, so smart, so intelligent. So. But Mama Luther has an edge over Marcus, which is native intelligence. She has that in abundance. So, in the course of me talking to her, she said, there is something, despite everything that has happened between us, that there is something she sees in me, which is the fact that I have native intelligence. You know, you recognize something, what you have, you recognize it when you see it in people. That I have this native intelligence. Because it is she knows that it is the native intelligence in me that made me to make that decision not to fight the issue. So, I let go and we settled the whole issue between us. After that same day, she asked me, do I know that the management is planning to set up student transition committee for the student union? Because now we are in school, no student union body. So it's either there is an election that brings people into power to student union, or the management constitutes a caretaker committee that will be serving the same purpose as the student union, but they will not be there through election. They will be management puppets. So she asked me if I will be loyal, that she will make me part of that team. I said, why? Why won't I be loyal? I will be loyal. Genuinely. Because if the management appoints you as the caretaker or student, anything the management appoints you, you have to be loyal. You don't have option. They dictate what you do. The option you have is to say you don't want. And saying no to such appointment is another indication that you will be a problem. You have something. You are a problem for the management. Because why would you say no? Though that was not the reason why I accepted. I accepted because I love to be in the student union. So I accepted. And she said, I will have to find a way to reconcile with leader Marcus too. I said, that is not a problem. She organized the meeting and I met with leader too, and everything was settled. When the list will be out, I happens to be the secretary, the number 2 in power of the student union government. That position is far, 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 far more bigger than being the departmental president. I was able to graduate. I was able to serve as the student union secretary because I didn't take the initial issue personally. You see? If I had taken it personally, I wouldn't graduate. I wouldn't become departmental president. I wouldn't become the student union secretary. I might not be able to do this because it was because I graduated from that school. That was why I have the resource to be able to come to Spain to come and do masters. Just because I didn't take it personally. And because I didn't take this personally is what we now, you will see now, is what now led to the second example of my experience that I want to give now of another thing I took personally that led to different results. From the money I gathered when I was the secretary, we used to collect salary. The management also gave us money. And being the secretary, I was part of the signatory to the account with the president. There was still, and the project we did then, there was still some money I was able to, some I stole, some I got it from the people that help us to do projects. So all this money, immediately we finished our term and I graduated from the school, I decided to start a business selling clothes. My brother Keke, that I said initially that was selling something on campus, happens to have a shop at the front of the student union building where he was doing just photocopy. So inside that shop, we only have a photocopy machine. So I saw that this shop is empty. Let me speak with my brother that, can I be selling clothes in this shop since the photocopy machine is just in one corner, and every day when they resume to the shop, they used to put even that photocopy machine outside so that I can use the other space. He said, no problem, that I can do that. I started the furnishing, did everything cool, neat. I went to Madilas in Lagos. I got the wares, I got everything. It was a unisex boutique named Wear and Smile Boutique. So I started. In the first week, like 3 days of me opening that shop, I was able to sell over 200,000 naira worth of clothes. 2012, that year. But that same week, I arrived to shop one morning, and Casey, who happens to be a big brother to me on campus, and he is also Keke's friend, and he also had a shop. is the owner of the immediate shop after my brother's shop. So doing barbing salon there, unisex. Was it unisex? I can't really remember if it's unisex or not unisex, but there was a barbing salon there. So I saw him at the front of Keke shop, and he said I cannot open the shop that day. What happened, Egbon? He said, I want to use my cunning ways to take that shop from Keke. That do I want Keke to not have anything? Do I want him to only be outside there selling cards? Because Keke said recharge card. I said, why do you think that? I thought Keke approved this. And that I'm just using the space he's not using. And aside that, there was a time, like 2 weeks ago, that you came here, you saw me doing all this furnishing. And I remember clearly, you were the one that told me that this type of cutting I use does not fit what I want to be selling. I put all this cotton made from clothes. So he said I was supposed to use window blind. And I said, okay, with time, I will get window blind. Where is this coming from? He said, I cannot open. I said, okay, Keke is at home. I will go and meet Keke at home to explain to him. So I went home. In the course of me explaining to Keke, he arrived too. Casey arrived. And he said, I cannot. And okay, Keke, what do you think? Keke couldn't say anything. I was like, what is happening? Well, I said, you see, Casey, that you are just doing all this for nothing. The owner of the shop is not even saying anything now. That then, what is your problem? So that statement triggered something in him, and it beat me up. I took it personally, angrily. I went to the shop, packed all my things. Because of the fact that I took it personally, I stopped selling clothes and started Sugar Mommy and Yahoo. Had it been that I didn't take it personally, because what is it to take personally? My fight was not supposed to be against Casey, even if I want to fight anybody. It was supposed to be to my brother, because that couldn't have happened if my brother didn't approve it. My brother that gave me the space to use, if he was not in support of Casey's action, like him directly being the one sending me out, Casey wouldn't have been successful in stopping me to use that place. And I was not supposed to take it personally, because this same Casey happens to be the one, when I was doing my teaching practice, that would take me from Ondo to Osogbo. He also housed me in Osogbo, fed me. So, and aside that, this Keke happens to be, because of his influence, that I became the Chief Justice. I wouldn't have become the Chief Justice of the Student Union if not for Keke, because being the fact that he sells things on campus and he's so nice to a lot of people. So the stakeholders of the Student Union then happens to be his friend. That was and because I have enough CGPA, that was the only reason I became the Chief Justice, not by my efforts. So I was supposed to know that where people that do good to you can also do things to you that you will not like. I was just supposed to not take it personally and go and look for another shop. Even I can still get another shop on that campus. But taking it personally, I was so blinded by hunger. Me and this same Casey, we settled, and happens to be the one that helped me in Abuja when I moved to Abuja to design, not only design, to get the land with which I built my house, design that house. He graduated from fine art. He drew the plan of the house. He supervised the house from foundation to the end. This same man did the same process he did for me in the house for my pure water factory. You see that when people do anything to us, it's not about us, it's about them. We don't, because as I am, there are a lot of people have done things for that they like, and at the same time, have done things for that they don't like. So, taking things personally will only bring suffering and make you to make decisions that will later affect you in future. But because me stopping sending that clothes and me starting to involve myself in sugar mommy and yahoo kept me in, for a very long time, kept me in this feeling of emptiness. No regret. No fucking regret. A man will do whatever he needs to do to survive. But the process happens because I took that personally. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome us again to today's episode of Unmasked by Toltec Wisdom. And today's title is Do Not Take Anything Personally. This is the second agreement of Toltec culture. If you can keep this agreement of not taking things personally, seeing what people do or what they don't do as their own conditioning, as their own way of seeing life. Because every one of us, even when I started sugar mommy and all this yahoo, when I started, it was based entirely on my level of awareness. So everyone also does things based on their level of awareness, the way they see life, their expectation about life, their experiences, what they've gone through, in which it's not possible to be the same with yours. Just if you want to understand this better more, you should watch my first episode about domestication of human being. Nobody is inherently bad or good. We only have people that are aware of what they are doing and why they are doing it, and people that are not aware. That is just it. If you keep on taking things personally, you will be moving from one stress to another, because every day people will be doing things you don't understand. People have to do things based on how they see life. That is why Yoruba people used to say, because once you start taking things personally, that means yes, taking things personally is making every action of other people, the external actions, to affect you, taking it as yours. No. What did I do to deserve him feeding me? Even Keke, that didn't say anything, when this was happening, he asked me for 4 years. No, even after I graduated, I still spent like 1 year with him. He asked me for 5 years without a single payment. He fed me for 5 years. Not every time, but Keke fed me more than 60% of time when I was in Adeyemi College of Education. Because of him, like I said, I became the Chief Justice. So, if I now expected him to talk that day when Casey was driving me out and he didn't talk, I shouldn't take that personally. So, the same way I took one personally and ended up in a bad way is the same way I didn't take another one personally and ended up in a good way. Every one of us, we have instances like this. I don't really need to explain this lots. No, because this example of mine, the two examples, I've explained it greatly. You not taking things personally is not for other people. It's for your own peace of mind. It's for yourself. Because you cannot control what happens outside. No. But you can control how you react to it. You can reframe it. You can either label it as something as the end of your life, or you label it as a new beginning. Let us use this to navigate our life, to ask ourselves some questions. Not to go and rewrite history, but to make adjustments in our present endeavors, and to also make sure whatever we do, we don't take things personally. Thank you, my people.